Hello to all the viewers and subscribers who are watching this video right now. If you've made it this far, this is the third part of a repair that involves the replacement of the gasket or seal of the valve cover. And if you made it here without seeing the first and second parts, I must tell you this is the third part. If you want to watch the first two parts, they can be found here on the channel as well. With that said, let's continue from where we left off in this video. What I also do is I have this little specialized process on this super specialized board that I had made at a company whose brand I can't disclose. In it, I arrange the screws that I remove and place them in the order in which I removed them. If you look at the pattern of the holes that I made in this plate of this very sturdy and special material, it somewhat resembles the shape of the valve cover, not to say it's identical. And the holes are the number of screws I'm going to remove. And there I place them. First, so I don't lose any screws. Second, so they're not lying on the floor. Third, so I don't leave them somewhere else, and after I won't remember where I left them, or I'm gonna miss a screw. And finally, I have a habit of putting the same screws that I removed back in the same place. Here we're gonna notice something. This screw, since it's full of oil, is what I'm telling you. The gasket already lets oil pass into the spark plug chamber and also to the outside. And here we have the living proof, this screw filled with oil. If we observe it more carefully, it's clearly visible. And now we're going to compare it with the other screws that we removed, which I hadn't shown. Flip my cardboard over and see how the other screws are dry. This screw is wet with oil, and this one too, which I guess are the areas where the cover's leaking oil. The areas where the gasket is leaking oil I leave there. The shot of my specialized plate to place screws, so you can admire it. Here I show the screws again. You can see the difference. And then we're going to continue removing them. I mention here, I remember the screws were already loose because I already started removing them by hand. I had previously loosened them so that you don't think they were too loose, that they are removed by hand. They can be removed by hand, but I had already loosened them previously with the ratchet and die. There we could see another screw in the corner, stained with oil. Let's put it in place. Let's remove the middle one on the right side. Maybe I could have put it in fast motion here, I don't know. But for the moment I'm going to leave it like that so you can see the procedure. That one looks a little bit, not so much, just a little bit stained with oil. And we already have 2, 4, 5, 7 screws. We're going to remove one more. We're going to see if it comes out dry or soaked. This one came out dry, and it's from the area of the left corner where we removed the other two that were stained with oil, wet with oil. We're going to remove this one that's in the left corner a little bit towards the back, already wet with oil. There are several that we took out like this. It seems that this area was the one already leaking more oil. Well, I think I am doing this gasket change in time, or maybe I shouldn't wait so long. I don't know yet. The other spark plugs weren't getting too wet, but we can see that there were many screws that did get wet with oil. Well, if you guys get bored with the video, you can go ahead and skip through it gradually. If you find the procedure too slow, but I'm going to leave it at normal speed, so that those who want to follow the procedure calmly, step by step, don't have an issue with it. That one in the corner is missing, but on the one hand, that harness hinders us from removing it, and on the other hand, we have to disconnect that connector from the harness to be able to remove the cover totally. If not, we won't be able to remove the cover completely. But well, it seems that we do have access to the screw, but we're not going to be able to remove the cover completely. We could try removing the connector from the harness before removing the cover, but it's really tight and we might break something. Well, I might break something, because I'm the one doing it, not you. So we're going to leave it for last. There must be some kind of latch somewhere to remove it. We've already removed all the screws from the outline of the lid, and we're going to be missing 2 screws to be able to lift it right now. I'm going to tell you which screws in a few moments while we can inspect the outline to make sure we didn't miss any screws. Because we did some screw and we pulled the lid or we pry it with a lever, we're gonna break it. We're gonna crack it, and this lid is not cheap at all. I already got a quote for it because later on I also want to change it. I'll see if I can record the procedure of the change of the lid, which is going to be almost the same, right? And like I told you, I already got a quote for it and it is expensive. Well, I already made sure that I removed all the screws around the lid. We still need to disconnect that harness, that little base, that's another one of the screws. Those are the last ones. That's one of the ones that go in the center of the lid. And this is the other one. Those 2 screws in the center we also have to remove. But we'll do that in the next video.